I did, yes. Yes, well, it's 60 blocks. If I'm slow, it takes about 3 hours. Also, in LA, the blocks are wildly different lengths. Nothing, actually. She who? Oh, okay. Yes, okay. Yeah. Well, I give everything to them eventually. I have, in the last few months, sent them many photographs, plays, uh, CDs of photos, press, and plays. Also, they have the photo collection of James D. Gossage. No, no, I gave before I left New York in 1990. I had already, for a couple of years, been giving Lincoln Center things. My stuff is about me throughout my life, but in the last few years, since I started making the Chino archive pages online, I have accumulated huge amounts of Chino stuff from many people, and I have donated all of that to Lincoln Center. It worked both ways. Uh, I contacted everyone I knew who had been at the Chino and asked them if what they had, and then other people saw the pages online and got in touch with me and said, "Oh, I've got this or that." Uh, for instance, a man named Billy Mitchell, who was the person who suggested to Joe Chino that he mount plays at the Chino back in 1958, had the first known photos of a performance at the Chino of the play Aria da Capo, starring Billy and directed by Glenn Dubose. That's Glenn, last name one word, Dubose. Okay? Now, Billy sent me a beautiful photo of himself in the play, but he said that Lincoln Center had lost the two contact sheets he gave them of the play when he loaned it to them for the 1985 Chino exhibit. Well, a few months ago, Maggie Dominic sent me scans of two contact sheets and said, "Bob, do you have any idea what these are?" And they turn out to be the Aria da Capo contact sheets, which had been just floating around at Lincoln Center uncatalogued. So I got in touch with Billy only to learn that he had died. But Glenn Dubose who was the director, gave Maggie permission to send me scans of the pages for me to post. So I tell you that story only as an example of how it's gone. Well, I had these things. I had a few pictures and programs and things from the Chino, and it seemed that nobody knew about the Chino. So I posted what I had, which made 2 or 3 pages, and now it's ballooned to 76 pages. and it includes not only photographs, posters, programs, and press on shows. It includes personal photos of people both back in the 60s and now, and it includes scripts that have never been published, scripts from the Chino that have never been published. So it just ballooned. I believe the Chino is now the best documented off-Broadway theater. Okay, the schedule, just a moment. Let me look at it and I can tell you exactly. I'm opening it up right now. I am opening it up right now. I am opening it up right now. Wait, why does it keep, oh, there it is. Okay, as it says at the top, I believe it was first the part number 3, more fully datable shows arranged alphabetically by author's last name. I believe that was put together first by Leah D. Frank and Albert Poland and Bruce Mailman. Then Richard Buck and Maggie Dominic and Leah Frank, as far as I know, enormously expanded it for the Chino exhibit at Lincoln Center. And then Wendell Stone did part 4. I don't know if he did it alone. That's the huge table with everything on it. Right, but everything on it in red I have added, whether through my own research or through letters or contact with other people. All the red stuff is added since Mr. Stone. And so, that's how it came to be. I wish I could publish it somewhere. September 14th, 1961. Well, it opened in December 58. So, no, that's a common misconception. They did their first original play, I believe, in 1960. But they were doing plays we have photos from December 1958 of a production of Dorothy Parker's short story, Here We Are. They were doing at least readings, but it looks like it's mounted. The people aren't holding, the first production photos we have, the first performance photos we have that can be named are of Aria da Capo. In just a moment, I can tell you the date. Here we go. In April 1960. Those are the first performance photos we have. The first original play, as far as anyone knows, although there's some fudging about this, you understand no one was keeping records. Yes, Flywheel, 1963. Flywheel. Wait, there are two. There's Flywheel and Fly Spray. Just a moment. I'm so sorry. Cancel all I said. Yes, just a moment. Just a moment, I'm getting there. 1960, James Howard's Fly Spray. Now, nobody seems to have seen it, but except one man, the photographer, Roland Sherman, says he saw it and saw rehearsals. Says he has photos of rehearsals, although he hasn't found them yet. He says, do you want me to read this to you? I saw Fly Spray a couple of times. It was an anti-war, anti-arms build-up play, inspired, I suppose, by Eisenhower's speech. I photographed it, and I know I can find those pics somehow. It was brilliantly directed, produced on a shoestring, but who cared? It was very funny in a horrific kind of way. Are you recording this? Oh, good, good. No, good. Well, no, I want you to. I can look at the flight. So it was written by James Howard. Uh, I could look at the poster and tell you who directed it. Okay, good. Yes. Right. Well, I don't. The posters that were put in the windows would have been for that night's show, so they didn't need the date on them. A flyer would have the date or a poster that was posted somewhere else. But the posters were designed uh, to be not to look like posters. The posters were designed by Kenny Burgess, the artist and dishwasher, to look like abstract art to fool the police. Hello? 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 Yeah? Hello? Yes, I was saying the posters were designed by Kenny Burgess, the artist and dishwasher, to look like abstract art to fool the police. It was illegal to put on shows in the Chino. Those in the know could read them. The cops just passed it by as an art gallery. We never had much trouble like that while Joe was alive. We always assumed that he had some sort of capital F family protection. The moment Joe died, cops and inspectors started dropping in several times a day and leaving summonses for, for what were to us very large amounts. There was no way in the world we could have paid them. We put them on a spindle and put it on the toilet tank in the bathroom. They were definitely trying to close us the minute Joe died. Uh, no, we thought there was family protection. He was Sicilian, and there were cops who came in to who apparently got small bribes and sexual favors. Oh yes, yes. In fact, we had one of our best seasons theater-wise after he died. He had planned a whole year ahead, or several months ahead. Joe,
Yeah.
okay, Joe came to New York to be an actor and dancer. He was with the Mary Anthony Troupe, among others. I talked with Miss Anthony. She sent me programs with his name in them. She had no pictures of him. Okay. He acted, you can see him on my pages acting in a play, looking very young, but he had a weight problem and sort of retired to open the coffee shop. Um, Billy Mitchell suggested that he do full up productions of plays rather than just readings, and so he did. And it was, as far as I know, unique in that respect.
And do you? I mean, how important personally is that particular play at this time in your career?
To me,
Yeah. I mean, do you? What do you? Yeah. Well, how do you see it? But
the
how would you?
Chino was everything. To me, to Lanford Wilson, to Tom Eyen, to Tom O'Horgan, to John Guare, to Sam Shepard. These are just a few of the artists who have become world famous. William M. Hoffman, don't forget him. These are just a few of the artists who have become world famous. What happened at the Chino was this. Joe Chino brought theater into the modern era, which the other arts had entered 100 years before. The new idea that constituted off Broadway was to do plays for free. That way, nobody had to like them, and we could do what the Impressionist painters had done 100 years before. We could write anything we wanted to. Never before in history had theater writers had that freedom.
Did you ever? Did you feel like? I mean, when you say never before has theater writers had that freedom, did it last beyond that for you, or is for some of these other writers, as far as you know, or do you still feel today, in other words, that that was the point where you had so much freedom once things would change significantly enough after?
The Chino changed what was allowed in theater in subject matter, form, and style forever. You can see in every field of performing arts the influence of the Chino.
Um, so okay, history. What else?
Shows from Hair to Dreamgirls to Angels in America could not have existed if not for the breakthroughs made at the Chino. Shows like A Chorus Line, Follies, Cats, even, are all based on stylistic inventions or revolutionary liberties taken at the Chino. And we could only take them because we were doing it for free. We did not need the approval of an audience, of the press, of the church, of the police. We were the first theater artists in history who could do whatever we had to do. That was Joe Chino's motto: do what you have to do. The theater revolution at the Chino was typically American in that there was no manifesto, there was no list of rules. It just happened because of the seething frustration that we had all suffered under in the 1950s. Joe Chino gave a place for the 60s to start.
Um, okay. There's so much here in the book,
Yes, it is.
um, this article won't unfortunately be that, but what I'm really doing is taking some of the visual. What they want to do, they want a visual thing here. So basically, for our arts and leisure section, I'm taking a bunch of images. I'm going back there with a photographer, and we'll So
Okay.
hopefully carefully chosen half dozen or so
Okay.
visual images.
Well, I could suggest a lot, but I'm sure you have some to look at.
Well, you can. I mean, you can if you have a few that you think are important. I mean, basically, in trying to paint like the story where I want to get something with Joe in it, and there's we've actually got a matchbook and a menu,
Yeah, yeah.
photograph that would be sort of cool. I want to get.
Well, I have a picture of Joe with his lover Johnny.
Oh, you do? Is that online or is it something you could email?
I can email it to you, of course.
Yeah, why don't you send that? Because we're gonna photograph some of the stuff in the library, but
Yes, I
some of
understand.
it's scanned, of course, as well. So if you want to send that, that would be great. Um, there's a shot of him in the kitchen that is in one of the
Yeah,
Gossage
yeah, yeah. There are
paintings.
wonderful photos by Jim.
Yeah.
I I must ask you, if I send you a photo and I send you a credit caption, will the credit be used?
Oh yeah,
Photo
absolutely.
by from.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, because lately I've had such trouble when I gave people photos, they just leave those off, and I get yelled at a lot.
We're very particular
Yeah,
about that.
when I send you
I
this photo,
certainly.
it will say, photo courtesy of the Chino family from the collection of Robert Patrick.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Whatever you put in the caption,
Do
I'll
you
use it.
want the photo I mentioned of Bill Mitchell, the first performance photo
Yeah,
from?
that would be great. That would be fantastic.
Because Maggie is donating the contact sheets for those, but I don't know if
Right.
if they're just contact sheets. I don't know if you can get a photo from them.
Right.
All right, I
That
will.
would be that would be great to have. And then we won't I obviously have to work with editors and decide what we print.
Yes, I understand. I'm going to send you the photo of Bill Mitchell and the photo of Joe and Johnny.
That's great. And then what
If you have time to
handout is
even
fine.
glance through my Chino pages, if you see any picture there you want, let me know and I'll tell you if I have it larger.
Okay. Great. Let me see if there's anything else I wanted to. Oh, do you remember the fire and
Yes.
what happened? So what happened there?
The legend is that Joe's lover Johnny Torrey set fire to the place.
Oh, I
That is
see.
the legend. No one knows.
I see.
Uh,
Were they fighting or something? I'm not going to get into all
they
the
were always
dirty.
fighting.
Oh, really?
They were incredible. Uh, Ellen Stewart of La Mama, who worshipped Joe, and vice versa, instantly gave Joe La Mama to produce at until the Chino was refurbished,
I see.
until the Chino was rebuilt.
That's what I thought.
They did a season of Chino at La Mama.
Wow. And it only took several months, right, to get it back up?
Well, if you look at the schedule, you'll see
Yeah,
where it
I'll have to
begins and
look.
ends. Just a moment, I can tell you.
I'll double check that. But
Hold on, hold on. They didn't really prepare you for this, did they?
it's just they did. It's just that there's so much, you know what I mean? And Maggie's stuff, there's just a lot. There's just a lot.
Okay,
So
just a moment. Uh, Chino at La Mama started March 11th, 1965,
right.
and the series one. Six Mary Mitchell. Okay, just a second.
I mean, I do
No,
have
no,
the
I
numbers.
got it right here. I'm looking at it.
Okay.
Um, and the Chino reopened on March 20th, 65.
Oh, okay.
I'm no, sorry, May.
May. Right. So it was just a couple months after you
Yeah,
finished. Um,
and you might.
yeah, that's kind of what I thought, but no one had put it because I knew that some of the shows moved over there, but
They didn't move.
but you just articulated this is really helpful to me.
They didn't move. They were produced there.
Right, and she donated. I mean,
Yeah.
she worshipped him, as you said, and donated, and she
Yes.
keeps him right here,
Yes.
which is a much more sort of
Well, if you look at the right-hand side of the schedule I sent you,
yeah.
from the time the Chino, from the time La Mama opened with the play One Arm,
Right, right, right.
you will see in the right-hand side every notation I have of Chino people working at La Mama. There would have been no La Mama if the Chino people hadn't gone in and helped create it.
Right.
Ellen always acknowledged that. Ellen said, Off Broadway began with Joe Chino. I want that understood.
So was there any competition at that time, or
No.
it
Well,
was?
there were other theaters, but There was no competition because
No.
everybody worked everywhere practically. There was Theater Judson and St. Mark, and uh, there was Theater Judson at Judson Memorial Church, and there was Theater Genesis at St. Mark's Church.
Right.
There was the Chino, and there was La Mama. Then there began to be other places. Just a few years after the Chino opened and started off Broadway, there were over 300 off Broadway theaters listed in the Village Voice. It was a silent revolution, and it's amazing to me to this day that people don't know about it. They go see plays or movies or TV shows or rock concerts, which couldn't exist without off Broadway's revolution, and they don't know where it came from at all.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I'm aware of that. I've known about it. I actually knew Doric fairly well. You know, I met him. I used to be in the theater myself, so I knew Doric. So I've heard a lot. You know, I've known about Gina for many years. But it is true that a lot of the people in my sort of peer, you know, my world are a little bit, you know, ignorant of.
Well, that's because when I say things like the Chino brought theater into the modern era, which the other arts had entered 100 years before, no one prints it.
Well, maybe that. Yeah, possible.
Yeah, I mean, you can say Robert Patrick says. You don't have to say it yourself, but just someone has to sooner or later has to get out there. I do a lecture on the Chino with hundreds and hundreds of pictures.
Didn't I see this on YouTube or just
Yes,
a piece of it? Yeah, yeah.
yes, and
No,
nobody wants me to do it. They say you lecture on the what?
right. Have you never done it here in New York, or?
No, I never done it in New York.
Oh, wow.
I've never been brought to New York to do the lecture.
Okay. I mean, I guess even the books are not really like. There's one that there's playing underground, and then the one that's specifically on Chino. But I guess if you don't already know about it, you're not going to seek out those books.
Right, and did the Times review that book?
I don't know. Probably not, right?
Yeah, probably not. There's just this strange wall uptown. It's like when you talk about gay theater, people say, "Yeah, it started with Boys in the Band," and you
Right.
say, "Duh." You know? Langford Wilson, Doric Wilson, Robert Patrick, William Hoffman, Hal Borsky, Clarice Nelson, Bob Heide were all doing gay plays for years before Boys in the Band, but they don't want to know it. Someone has to make that breakthrough sooner or later.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to send you the Billy Mitchell picture
Okay.
and the Joe Chino Johnny Torre picture. And I'm,
Okay.
and I'm going to call Maggie Dominic and ask her why she didn't tell me she was doing this.
Well, it's not really her. I mean, you certainly can call her, obviously, but it's more the PR folks at the library who are working for you. And I think what they felt was like, now, you know, they had the photos, they've been getting your stuff, now they have her stuff, and they felt like it was swelling to the point where they wanted to try to say, you know, they have.
Well, I'll tell you this, and you can decide what to do with it. I've been begging them to set up a Chino collection for 20 years. They've always said it wasn't necessary.
Oh, really?
So maybe they just finally got wise.
Yeah, I think so. Something
Well, that's good.
thing was the catalyst, I guess.
Yeah, I can't believe for years they just not treated it like it was important enough. They take everything I give them and put, like if I send them 20 Chino pictures, they put them in theater pictures of the 1960s. There's no Chino collection.
Huh.
So someday
So I
somebody's,
guess that's the idea. Now they want to separate you.
well, it's about time.
They're
You can,
finally putting together. I think part of it is like you have to ignite someone's interest, right? So the guy, this guy Jonathan Pace, do you know him? He's a
no.
publicist at the Performing Arts Center, and I don't think he knew anything about it. And then he started looking through the stuff that she brought in over the summer, and I think he just sort of got excited about it. So
Well, do you know him?
yeah, yeah.
Will you please tell him he may not know that there is tons of Chino stuff that I've given.
No, he. Well, I asked him about that the other day.
Oh, he does know.
Yeah,
Okay.
he
Yeah.
knows. He knows.
And he knows about Jim Gossage.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So.
If they'd been smart, they could have had Paul Foster's and Tom Irons and Lanford Wilson's collections.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, I'm going to. Are we done?
Yes, 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 we are. So send me whatever you would like, whatever you can, and then if you don't mind, after I meet with these folks again, and if I have other questions, I may want to contact you later this week, but I'll email you and we'll set
Okay.
something up.
What is your? Will you please friend me on Facebook?
Yes, I will do that now. Where can
Because
we?
there's so many Stephen McElroys you wouldn't believe it.
Okay. No, you send me yours, and I know the photo. I'm sure I can find you. So I'm gonna do that now, and then we'll talk again before this is done, probably within the next
Please.
6 to 7
I
days.
really would like my name to be somewhere in this
Oh,
article.
it will. Don't worry about it. Okay.
Thank you. Have a great
All right.
day. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Hello? Hello? Okay. Yes, here I am.
Good.
Okay.
You have mail.
Oh, good. Why, thank you. That bag there.
Where?
There.
Oh.
There's 4 of them. I
Oh.
think you've had 3 of them. Take them, watch them, bring them back. No rush.
Okay, good, thank you.
Enjoy. I'm sorry to be so quick.
No problem. You're busy. All right. Thanks, Pat.
Yes.